Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Beautifully Connected podcast. I'm so excited to be here, and today is such a great topic. It is something that I'll probably talk about quite often because it is so important, and that's really around the gut brain connection. And it's really such an important topic, and cultivating gut health really will start that vitality, that longevity that we so desire, this overall health. It can really play a big part into your overall health, what is going on in your body, your future, and going into those next chapters into your life. Your gut health will really impact a lot of different things. And there have been so many studies that are coming out about more about gut health and understanding it. And more than anything, they're starting to recognize that gut health is the result of multiple different diseases or illnesses that come from the gut. And even though there's a lot of theories about it, we still don't know very much at all. Similar to the brain, it is one of those mysteries that are still being discovered more and more. But the emphasis is really coming a part of it, and us trying to understand more information about it, which is why I think talking about this topic as often as I can is so important. So let's start. Let's dive right into it head first. Gut health really encompasses a complex ecosystem of microorganisms, and they really live in your digestive tract. So this includes bacteria, fungi, viruses, and other microbes. These are healthy. Now, we are born with a certain combination of these microorganisms, okay? And what's really unique, and they're starting to discover, is that every single person has a different makeup of these microorganisms. They're almost as unique as your fingerprint. And no person is going to have the exact makeup of microorganisms that any other person on this planet, even your parents, even your siblings. It is so unique to who you are, to your environment, and everything that goes into it. So, for example, my sister and I were born in Toronto, Canada, but my sister and I are going to have completely different microorganisms based off of my sister was born naturally, and then I was born as a cesarean. Right off of that part, we're going to have a completely different microorganism makeup. So whether or not you were born as a natural birth through your mom's vaginal canal, or whether you were born as a cesarean or other, there is really no other form, so I was going to say that, but those two will impact that. The next thing, my sister, when she was fairly young, when she was about a year old, my dad was working in the Middle East and in Europe, and my sister went with my mom, of course, and she was exposed to different things during that time. I didn't have that experience. So again, you can see how all of this plays a part. Your mother, what they actually consume. Your dad, what do they actually consume? This all plays a part into the setup of your microorganisms within your gut. Now, the balance and diversity of these microorganisms play seriously one of the most crucial roles in your digestion, in absorption of nutrients, and the regulation of your immune system. I'm going to throw another piece in that. It also really can impact your overall mood, your levels of happiness, your it's been linked to depression, anxiety, mood regulation. There is so much more that they're discovering more and more as they spend more time learning about the gut and the importance of these microorganisms. So when you hear that, oh, you have bacteria or fungus or viruses or microbes in your gut, these aren't bad. So there's good guys and bad guys. And this is when we want to start to understand the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. The bad guys are going to be ones when we have overgrowth, when things are out of balance, when things are maybe too acidic. That goes into a more complex system, which why something that I love to do in my practice is actually to get testing for this, because the moment you're able to understand what actually is going on in your gut versus the guessing game, it makes things a lot easier to then go through and create a treatment plan or to get you back to ground zero. So, long story winded of what that is, but the gut microbiome isn't just about digestion. It really influences everything in your life, everything in your body. So your mood, everything. So it's like your mood, your energy levels, your immune function, and even how we process nutrients, how we absorb nutrients from our food. So a healthy gut is really the cornerstone of your overall well-being. And I really want to get that in your head, that the gut is such a powerful tool. If you're at the beginning stages of reclaiming your health, there's two things I would really say: stress management and looking at your gut. Those two things are literally going to make a huge difference in your life. Outside of just eating right, exercising, yes, these are all going to help. But if you don't have a healthy gut, looking at hormones and all of that is going to be a lot more difficult, because the gut influences so much of what is going on in those different systems. Everything is interconnected, and the gut is really the cornerstone to it all. So let's talk a little bit about the gut-brain axis. I know that personally in my world, this is like the hottest topic to talk about. But the gut-brain axis is really a sophisticated communication network, and it's really linking our central nervous system, which is our brain, and our spinal cord. These are the signals that are triggering everything that goes on within our body, okay? So it's like the best way to describe it. So the central nervous system is connected with the enteric nervous system found in our digestive tract. And this connection really allows a continuous exchange of information, and it influences between the gut and the brain. So the best way I love to picture this, to describe it to people, or even for myself, is imagine like from your brain, I always like pick a spot in my brain to my gut. If you were to draw like a line to one and then a circle, like create a little circle between the two, that's the influence it has. So it talks to it constantly. And the gut and the brain are in constant communication. So the signals travels along nerves via chemical messages, and it's influencing not only digestion, but again, our emotions, our stress responses, and even our cognitive function like memory and learning. So a lot of people will say that once they've worked on their gut health, that their memory started to get better, or they were able to learn and concentrate in a different way. So there's so much research going into it that is realizing the impact of these gut health protocols, because they are influencing a lot of people in ways where, you know, you'll hear people say, I have this fogginess that just won't go away, or I can't concentrate really well. And then they'll go through with a gut healing protocol, and then all of a sudden their fogginess is gone. They're able to concentrate on the things that they're doing. Their mood improves, their skin improves. Like, so many things are tied to your gut that I get so passionate about it, because I'm like, like the people can get so excited and see immense amount of change that happens within them. It's just really understanding the impact of it and how to move forward in a safe way. A lot of people are tackling gut health and are trying to do it in a very quick way. Gut health is one of those things that it does take a little bit of time. So you got to take a moment and realize that, hey, you've been treating your gut a certain way for a certain amount of time. It takes time to heal it as well. So you're basically rebuilding your gut lining. You're restoring those good bacteria in your body, and that does sometimes take a little bit of time. And I always say that I have seen people do it in a very unsafe way, because if you try to heal the gut, but you're not or you're trying to move the toxins out of your body, but you haven't healed it properly, you can actually make yourself more sick. And I just always love to give a little bit of a caution there that there's a lot of things online that tell you to do different things or different detoxifying protocols. But working with a practitioner that actually knows what they're doing around detoxification and moving things through your body in a very safe way is so important. So like, please, if you get anything, yes, your gut health is so freaking important. It's an amazing place to start, but doing it with a licensed practitioner is going to be really important. And I think it can be really powerful if you're doing it in the right way. So this is like a buzz thing in my industry where people will often just throw people on probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, antibiotics really. And although these can be really powerful, you have to be smart about which ones you're choosing, because otherwise you may be wasting your money, or you may be feeding different organisms that don't need to be fed. So again, going back to those functional testings, it's important to understand what is the growth in your body. Do you have excess things that are growing on, whether it's candida or SIBO or these different types of functions within your body that need to actually be taken care of first. So let me explain to you a little bit about probiotics, prebiotics. They are living beneficial organisms. They're often bacteria or yeast, and this can be consumed through fermented foods or supplements. Now, prebiotics are specialized fibers found in certain foods that can really nourish and support the growth of beneficial bacteria in the gut. And prebiotics are usually taken before your food. It's help support different enzymes that happen. Oftentimes, it can really help diversify and balance out microbiomes or the microorganisms within your body. And personally, it's not something that I throw people on first right away. I really look at what's going on within people's bodies, and then I consider whether or not it's something we want to put them on. So a lot of practitioners, a lot of people on social media nowadays are really going into this space of this is the only way to do it, and here's a probiotics, here's a prebiotics. But I really want you to be mindful first that there are other factors to really pay attention to within your gut, to pay attention to how you're digesting food, how you're absorbing food, what is actually the status of your microbiome first, and then you can transition into different supplements if that is the case. So lifestyle practices, surprisingly, actually play a huge part in your gut health. And I love to really share a little bit of what I consider lifestyle practices, and those are habits, routines, behaviors, thoughts and beliefs, the way you are consuming things, whether it's information, the way you're eating, the way you're actually sitting down to consume the food itself. These are lifestyle practices that make a big impact on you, even right down to, are you drinking while you're eating? Are you talking while you're eating? These are all lifestyle practices that impact your overall gut. And in the context of gut health, these practices really range from stress management techniques to exercise routines and even, believe it or not, sleep hygiene. So these play a big part in how you're actually showing up in your day-to-day life that impacts your gut health. So stress, exercise, sleep, dietary choices all play these important parts. And it's understanding that your stress levels can really throw off your microbiome into an unhealthy place. Whether you're staying active or over exercising will play a big part into your gut microbiome. Getting enough sleep. Now, believe it or not, sleep is a cornerstone to your health. If you're not getting enough sleep, it will impact just about every single function, even though you feel like you are functioning through the day. Making mindful food choices. And this is not just what you put on your plate, but how you put it on your plate and how you consume it and what you do after consuming it. So if you are somebody that likes to talk and drink and do all these things while you're eating, they can impact how you're digesting food. Also, if you lie down after you eat, this is going to make a big difference in your overall gut health and how you're digesting food. So these are just like really simple cornerstones to understand. If I could give you any takeaways from this podcast, it's really to understand how important gut health is. How, yes, food matters, but there are so many lifestyle opportunities that you can look at that make a huge difference. If you're concerned about your gut health, whether you're low energy, you have major breakouts all over your skin, because your skin is actually one of the key pieces to let you know how your gut health is doing. It's not the only one, but also it is one of the key pieces. Your skin is the largest organ in our skin. It's the largest detoxifying organ in our skin, in our body. And it shows right away when something is going on. The other thing is like your overall digestion. Are you eliminating enough? And when I say enough, it's literally your goal is every time you eat, you want to be eliminating. So whether you eat 3 meals, you want to be eliminating 3 times. That's like a really high functioning, really great gut that is working. So if you don't actually eliminate once a day, your gut is not in a healthy space, and it's something to consider and to look into what is going on. And the last thing I want to really share is just pay attention, work with somebody who knows what they're doing. Getting functional testing is an incredible thing. You don't have to do it, but I think it's a really good cornerstone if you are concerned that your gut health isn't in a healthy place. But other than that, just know, take your time, one step at a time. Don't throw things at it to try and make it better. Take care of your stress levels, take care of your sleep, making sure you're getting enough hydration. These are perfect ways to start. And then as you transition into deeper gut healing protocols, it can be a really powerful thing. All right, I'll see you in the next episode.